welcome to the Vault Report with Georgetown assistant coach Jeff Battle. Appreciate it as always, Jeff. Hoyas recent loss at UConn. Next up is a matchup on Friday with Xavier. How are you doing? How are we feeling?
Doing well, doing well. Appreciate you having me again as always. It's a long season. It's a tough season. It's game to game. Coming off a tough loss at UConn, but we've had a great practice today, and we're in prep mode for Xavier.
Definitely. And I wanted to discuss, before getting to Xavier, just that UConn game. Obviously, Huskies one of the best teams in the Big East, one of the best teams in the nation this year. I don't know what your view is on victories within a loss, but what did you see that you liked in that game? A game that, you guys were in striking distance. What did you see as a staff that, you took as positives?
Well, we played well for longer stretches. We've had games where we played well for, 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, and we're just trying to put together positive minutes. And so we felt like in that game, obviously it was a tough environment, a very good team. Coach Hurley's got those guys playing at a high level, and we felt like we competed for the most part. But again, we didn't put together 40 minutes. Played a good 30, 35 minutes maybe, and then they got going and made some shots. And we kind of had some defensive breakdowns, but we're just talking to our guys about sustaining it and how close we are. And watching film from that game, just the little things that hurt us during the game that we prepared for, but we didn't carry it over to the actual game. And so just things like that to build on. But it was a great game for us to build off of. There's no moral victories for us, obviously, but there was a lot to look forward to, and positive things to show our guys moving forward.
Definitely. And offensively, you said obviously up and down, throughout the season, you guys have showed great stretches, obviously stretches where I know you guys, have not played or looked your best. Looking offensively, that UConn game, I think it was 23 out of 31 shots you guys had missed in the paint.
Mhm.
Sometimes, you look at those percentages and, it could be bad shots. But for you as a staff offensively, do you guys feel like you guys in the flow of the offense are making the right decisions and shots aren't falling, or, probably a mix of both?
Yeah, it's a mix of both. And you're right. We missed, 7 to 10, point blank layups in that game. And so we showed our guys those misses. And obviously it's a teaching moment. How did we miss them? Obviously we want to put our guys in the best positions to be successful. We capitalize on some of those layups. Maybe it's a different game. You never know. So, but we're not satisfied with that, like I alluded to, because our assist numbers are down. And so that means we're playing a lot more one-on-one, and we're having to take and make tough shots, and we got to make the game easier for each other. So we're big on sharing the ball and trying to get those assist numbers up, and hopefully we can get that moving forward as well.
Definitely. And, I keep, actually, I should say this. Every time I talk, my family, even my 8-year-old says, hey, Dad, you say definitely too much. So I just caught myself again. Anyways, you've been a part of very successful rebuilds. Easy to look as fans, as critics, to look at wins and losses. I know you said there are no moral victories, but just at this point, we're looking, what, 4 or 5 games in Big East play now.
Mhm.
Where do you see your growth? How satisfied as a staff? And I know it's a difficult question, but in terms of the growth at this point, some of those positives, but again, overall things that you guys are working on day to day.
Well, we'll continue to work on the fundamentals. Obviously, everybody makes it a little bit complicated, I think, as coaches and fans, whatever, but it still comes down to the basics. You got to guard, you got to rebound, and you got to execute. And so, and in this league, you got to bring some toughness and some energy every game, or you're going to get beat. And so we're just constantly on our guys about being ready to play and what it takes to be successful in the long haul of this league. It's such a grueling league. There's no nights off, there's no easy games. And so you got to have short memory. If we lose at UConn, we can't, come to practice the next day. Woe is me. We got to come with some energy. Hey, what do we got to do to beat Xavier? So I think our guys have done that. They've kind of been able to put things behind them and get ready to prepare mentally for the next game. And as a staff, we're with them every day. So we see the growth in practice. We're seeing it. And we got to keep our guys, confident and positive and stuff like that. So we're continually telling those guys, and we believe it. We're getting better. We are getting better, and so it may not be in terms of the win columns right now, but we're going to eventually get there if we keep building and playing and preparing like we're doing.
And you said Big East, it's a gauntlet, no days off. Xavier up next, a team that, they lost a lot of talent in the beginning of the year, injuries. You guys are everyone's battling injuries, but they have proven that, especially as of late, they're playing at a high clip. You got to go to Xavier. What have you seen from the tape? What's been the focus, in practice as you guys prepare for them on Friday night?
Well, they're terrific in transition. Desmond Claude is playing at a high level right now, back to back 20-point games, 20 plus games. The transfer Oliveri is a big time explosive scorer, can really shoot the ball. They're getting contributions from everybody across the board. McKnight has been a solid addition for them. He's a veteran point guard. He runs their team. But an X factor guy is Trey Green. He's a freshman, but he's an elite three-point shooter, and he can come in and rattle off 2 or 3 threes and just totally change the game. So, we've been concentrating on obviously our transition defense. You got to get back. They're a terrific rebounding team. I think they lead the league in offensive rebounding. So transition defense, and obviously we got to fight them on the glass. They play really well at home. It's a tough environment. It's a great environment. So again, we're excited. And again, it's going to be a big challenge for us.
And before I, again, appreciate the time before I let you go. I know Xavier obviously has a special place for you in your heart in terms of the success you had as a coach there. Some of my favorite, just as a college basketball fan, some of my favorite teams were those Xavier squads. I know this is probably a tough one, but a moment that kind of sticks out for you. You guys had a lot of success there, but just a moment during your time at Xavier.
Yeah, you're right. We were fortunate to have some really good teams there and did a lot of special things there. And you're right, Xavier's always a place that I, have a special place in my heart for spending years there that I did. But, I think I have a lot of memories, but the one that really sticks out to me is beating UC, University of Cincinnati. I think they were #1 in the country. We played them on their floor, the Shoemaker Center, and Lenny Brown, who was a great player for us for Xavier. Makes a game-winning shot at the buzzer, and just the unbelievable jubilation we had from that game. How quiet the place got. It was rocking in there. And then when he made the shot, it was just quiet, and just to see our reaction from our players that night, that was a big time memory. I'll never forget that game.
I remember that. I got to pull out the highlights for that one and mix those in.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time. I know, hoping you and Georgetown fans, hoping you can quiet a very loud arena on Friday night as you guys, take them on. And again, appreciate the time. We'll be in touch. Best of luck on Friday.
No problem. Thanks for having me.